Have you ever felt your heart heavy, shattered by the injustices and harsh trials that life throws your way? Have you ever tormented yourself over past mistakes and missteps? That simmering anger, like a poisonous vine, creeps in and clings to your soul, dragging you into the darkness of despair and causing you to lose sight of your true self. But remember, that anger is not an eternal specter haunting your life. It is simply a natural human response to the difficulties and challenges we face. Just as the mightiest waves crashing against the shore eventually dissolve into the vast ocean, so too will this storm of anger subside if you are brave enough to confront and overcome it. Today, let us embark on a journey together, seeking inner peace, to liberate our souls from the shackles of anger. But before we delve into these valuable lessons, let us travel back in time to an ancient tale where we will find seeds of wisdom to plant in the garden of our hearts. At the foot of the majestic Mount Fuji, there lived a young man named Hiro, carrying within him a simmering anger. The pressures of modern life, with its demanding work, complex relationships, and high expectations, left Hiro feeling constantly stressed and prone to outbursts. He frequently snapped at colleagues, argued with friends, and even raised his voice at his own family. One day, after a particularly heated argument with his father, Hiro was filled with remorse and disappointment in himself. He realized that his anger was ruining his life, alienating his loved ones, and robbing him of inner peace. In desperation, Hiro decided to seek guidance from a renowned Zen master who lived on Mount Fuji. After days of arduous climbing, Hiro finally reached the small temple nestled amidst the clouds. The elderly Zen master, with his kind eyes and warm smile, listened patiently as Hiro poured out his heart about his struggles and inner turmoil. The Zen master remained silent for a moment, then slowly spoke. "My son, anger is like a fire that consumes the soul. It may give you a temporary sense of power, but it will also leave deep scars and destroy everything you hold dear. You must learn to control that fire, to rediscover true peace and happiness." Hiro listened intently to the master's words, feeling as if a new light was shining into his soul. The master continued, "Learn to observe your emotions, identify the triggers of your anger, and find ways to face them calmly and wisely. Remember, you cannot control everything around you, but you can control how you react to them." The Zen master also taught Hiro about the importance of gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion. When you are grateful for what you have, when you forgive the mistakes of yourself and others, when you empathize and share with those around you, you will find true peace and happiness. Hiro stayed at the temple for a while, learning to meditate, practicing mindfulness, and applying the master's teachings to his daily life. Gradually, he felt his soul become lighter and more serene. He learned to manage his anger, replacing negative thoughts with positive ones and gratitude. Upon returning home, Hiro was no longer the hot-tempered and irritable young man he once was. He became calmer and more patient, knowing how to listen and understand others. His relationships with his family and friends also improved significantly. Hiro realized that happiness doesn't lie in controlling everything but in accepting and adapting to life's changes. Hiro's story is a reminder that anyone can overcome emotional storms and find inner peace. By learning to master ourselves, practicing gratitude and forgiveness, we can turn challenges into opportunities for growth and live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Did the story I just told make you think? If it touched your heart, and you'd like to join me on this journey of discovering meaningful life lessons, hit that subscribe button now so you won't miss any videos. If not, please leave a comment with the number 0 so I know, and I promise to do my best to bring you even more valuable content. Stay tuned until the end of the video. I promise you won't be disappointed. Number 1. Anger is poison. Anger, an intense and burning emotion, is like acid that destroys everything it touches, but ironically, the first and most profoundly eroded thing is the soul of the one who carries it. Like a raging fire, it can burn everything around it, but in the end, it will extinguish itself, leaving behind the ashes of regret and loss. Anger causes us to lose our composure and clarity, leading to impulsive and thoughtless actions. It clouds our judgment, preventing us from seeing things objectively and making sound decisions. Like a double-edged sword, anger can hurt others, but at the same time, it also stabs deep into our own souls, leaving wounds that are difficult to heal. When angry, we turn ourselves into slaves of emotions, allowing them to control and manipulate us. We lose our inner freedom and peace, drowning in a vortex of negative thoughts and hatred. We deprive ourselves of the opportunity to understand and empathize, to forgive and love. Imagine when we are angry with a friend over a small misunderstanding, we inadvertently push them away and may lose a precious friendship. Or when we get angry with a colleague because of a difference of opinion, we create a stressful work environment and lose effective cooperation. Even in extreme anger, we can commit violent acts, leaving behind painful and irreparable consequences. Our minds, once clear as an autumn lake, are now stirred by turbulent waves, creating a dark mess. Our hearts, once open like a vast field, are now narrowed by the fortified walls of resentment and hostility. We imprison ourselves in the dungeon of negative emotions, losing our inherent peace and happiness. We transform ourselves into wild beasts, ready to attack anyone who dares to come near. We scream, we smash, we hurt the people we love the most. And then, when the storm in our heart subsides, only emptiness and excruciating pain remain. Like the story of the young man who, in a fit of rage, accidentally lost the one he loved most. He destroyed his own happiness and that of the girl he loved just because of a moment of uncontrolled anger. Or the story of the famous king who, in a fit of rage, ordered the execution of a loyal official, only to live in guilt and regret for the rest of his life. But then, when the anger subsides, we realize that the person we hurt the most is ourselves. We have destroyed valuable relationships, missed good opportunities, and sown the seeds of suffering for the future. We have drunk the poison ourselves, only to realize that no one but us has to bear the bitter consequences. Anger is not just a fleeting emotion, but also a habit that can ruin our lives. It hurts relationships, hinders personal growth, and causes us to miss out on good opportunities. Therefore, learn to control anger like taming a wild beast within. Don't let it become a poison that erodes your soul and destroys the life you have worked hard to build. Forgiveness is not weakness, but a manifestation of a noble and strong soul. Letting go is not giving up, but freeing yourself from the shackles of hatred and suffering. When we learn to master our emotions, we will find true peace and happiness, like a pure lotus rising from the mud. Are you still following our journey? If so, please comment the number 1 to let us know. Number 2. Anger, a manifestation of misery. Anger, whether it erupts fiercely or simmers quietly, is essentially a manifestation of misery. It exposes the wounds, insecurities, and shortcomings within the human soul. When we are angry, we are like a child deprived of a favorite toy, screaming and thrashing to demand attention and fairness. We feel hurt, belittled, and powerless to change the situation. It is also an expression of weakness of the soul. It shows that we are not mature enough to face the difficulties and challenges in life. We have not learned to accept things that are not as we wish, nor do we know how to let go of the hurt and resentment. Those who truly understand the nature of anger do not easily let anger overwhelm their reason. They understand that anger is not a manifestation of strength, but on the contrary, it exposes the weakness and helplessness in controlling one's emotions. Meanwhile, those who often brag about their anger often do not understand its true meaning. They are just puppets controlled by emotions. A loud threat, a rash action is just a sign of helplessness and lack of restraint. It is like a double-edged sword, not only hurting others, but also hurting the person who holds it. Wise people understand that true strength lies in calmness and self-control. They know how to find satisfaction and happiness from within, instead of blaming others or circumstances. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, once likened anger to a temporary madness, causing us to lose our clarity and calmness. When we are angry, we are easily caught in a vortex of negative thoughts, words, and actions that hurt both ourselves and others. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, also reminded us that anger is the punishment we inflict on ourselves. When we are angry, we poison our souls with negative emotions, losing our inherent peace and happiness. However, Stoic philosophy does not deny the existence of anger. It is a natural part of being human, a reaction to injustices and difficulties in life. What is important is that we must be aware of anger, not letting it overwhelm our reason and control our actions. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, taught that it's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things. When we encounter things that are not as we wish, instead of getting angry, try to look at the problem objectively. Find the cause and solution. Instead of punishing yourself with anger, learn to forgive and let go. Forgiveness is not weakness, but a manifestation of strength and wisdom. When we know how to forgive, we free ourselves from the burdens of the past and open the door to peace and happiness. Anger, resentment, and disappointment are just dark clouds that obscure our vision. When we aim for self-liberation, these negative emotions will gradually fade away, giving way to peace and serenity. Remember, anger does not equal righteousness. Staying calm and rational is the wisest choice in any situation. Revenge is just a vicious cycle of suffering. It does not solve the problem, but only increases hatred and conflict. Instead of seeking revenge, learn to forgive and let go. That is the path to true liberation and peace. Instead of letting anger control you, see it as a warning sign, an opportunity to look deep within yourself. Find out the root cause of anger, confront the hurt and pain, and from there, heal and grow. We've only covered 1/5 of the journey, so be sure to hit the subscribe button to not miss any valuable lessons. Number 3. Anger is like a weed. In the garden of each person's soul, anger is like a poisonous weed, lurking among the blooming flowers of love, joy, and peace. It grows silently and quietly, but with intense vitality, intertwining and clinging to the roots of emotions, draining the lifeblood of all that is good. Like a dark shadow, the weed of anger covers the light, stifles freshness, and prevents other flowers from blooming. It turns the garden of the soul into a wasteland full of thorns and gloom. The flowers of happiness, once vibrant and full of life, now wither and fade under the encroachment of this poisonous weed. Like a raging storm, anger sweeps away the peace and serenity in our souls. It makes us lose control of ourselves, act blindly, and cause unnecessary harm to those around us, like the story of King Lear, who in a fit of rage banished his beloved daughter, only to live in regret and loneliness for the rest of his life. Just as a small drop of ink can cloud an entire glass of clear water, a little anger is enough to poison our souls, causing us to lose our clarity and calmness. It sows the seeds of hatred, making us distant and cold to those around us. Like the story of two best friends who became sworn enemies just because of a misunderstanding and uncontrolled anger. To protect the garden of our souls, keeping it beautiful and full of life, we need to uproot the weeds of anger as soon as they sprout. Let's learn to forgive, let go, and be tolerant, so that the blooming flowers of love, joy, and happiness can freely blossom. Let the garden of our souls be always filled with light and fragrance, becoming a place of true peace and happiness. Number 4. Anger is blind. Anger, like a pitch-black night, descends upon our soul, obscuring the light of reason and clarity. When rage erupts, it's like a monstrous beast, devouring all positive thoughts, leaving only resentment, blame, and envy to reign. We become lost in a labyrinth of emotions, unable to see the truth, only perceiving what we want to see, what aligns with the fury burning within us. In this state of delusion, we are like wild animals caged for too long, knowing only how to growl and lash out, unable to distinguish right from wrong. We attack, regardless of the consequences, just to satisfy the thirst for revenge seething within us. But when the storm in our hearts subsides, we are shocked to realize the pain and loss we have caused, the scars etched deep in the souls of others and ourselves. Anger not only clouds the present, but also sows the seeds of hatred, keeping us imprisoned in a painful past. It erects walls of separation, preventing us from opening our hearts to love and forgiveness. We lose precious relationships, good opportunities, and even faith in life. Let us light the lamp of wisdom, illuminating our souls from the darkness of anger. Let us see things objectively, understand the root causes of anger, and find ways to resolve it with calmness and compassion. Remember, forgiveness is not weakness, but a manifestation of strength and kindness. Letting go is not giving up, but freeing ourselves from the shackles of suffering. Only when we learn to control our anger can we find the light of true peace and happiness. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, in a poor farming family, there was an old man living with his 3 sons. The eldest son often got angry and scolded his 2 younger brothers. This greatly troubled the father. One hot afternoon, the father called his eldest son to the house. When the son arrived, the father was already waiting. On the table were 2 glasses of water, one with steaming hot water, as if it had just been poured, and the other with cold water. After exchanging greetings, the father pointed to the hot water and said, "Drink this." The son exclaimed, "Oh my, it's so hot outside. How can I drink this hot water?" The father smiled. "I see. So you prefer to drink cold water, don't you?" "Yes, I do." The father's expression turned serious as he said, "Neither you nor I can drink hot water. When you are angry, everything you say cannot be accepted by others. Being gentle and calm is like a glass of cold water, easier to drink and easier to absorb." Understanding his father's message, the son admitted his fault and promised to change. Number 5. Accepting what we cannot control. Life is like a flowing river, each of us a unique boat carrying our own burdens. The river of life ebbs and flows. Sometimes our boat glides smoothly on calm waters, other times it's tossed about in turbulent waves. But remember, the stability of our boat depends not on the water, but on the person at the helm. When someone angers us, we often hastily blame them, believing they are the source of our pain. However, upon deeper reflection, we realize that the anger was already brewing within us like a seed hidden deep in our subconscious. It is this seed of anger that is the primary cause of our suffering and distress. Many people face similar situations, but do not react with anger. The same words and actions that trigger our outbursts may be met with calmness by others. The underlying reason lies in the strength of the anger seed within us. A past lacking mindfulness and self-care has inadvertently watered and nurtured this seed, allowing it to grow stronger. Everyone carries a seed of anger to some extent. However, in some individuals, this seed grows stronger than the seeds of understanding and love. The main reason for this is a lack of mental training in the past. Stoic philosophy, like a lighthouse guiding us through the vast sea, teaches us that true strength lies not in avoiding storms, but in the ability to face and overcome the tempest within our hearts. When we learn to accept what we cannot change, when we master our emotions and thoughts, we find peace amidst life's fluctuations. In his book, The Enchiridion, the philosopher Epictetus presented a unique perspective on human life, dividing it into three distinct parts, reflecting the Stoic approach to life's challenges. Group 1. Thoughts and behaviors that can be controlled. Group 2. Tasks that involve the contributions of others and can only be partially controlled. Group 3. Natural elements and things belonging to others that cannot be controlled at all. Trying to control the thoughts and actions of others is a futile endeavor, leading only to suffering and disappointment. Each person has their own worldview, values, and experiences, resulting in different perspectives and behaviors. Instead of trying to change others, learn to accept differences and respect their freedom. Acceptance does not mean agreeing with or supporting every action of others. It is the acknowledgement that everyone has the freedom to choose and is responsible for their own choices. When we accept differences, we will no longer be caught up in pointless arguments, but focus on building healthy and positive relationships. Instead of trying to control others, focus on mastering yourself. Practice self-awareness, emotional regulation, and act responsibly. When we can master ourselves, we will no longer be affected by the negative thoughts and actions of others, but can maintain a calm and confident demeanor in any situation. Number 6, stay away from triggers. Prevention is better than cure. We try to prevent unpleasant emotions from arising in the first place. However, if they do arise, we can employ a second method called mindfulness of the presence or absence of an emotion, such as fear, anger, anxiety, or guilt. These unpleasant emotions can be easily managed when we pay attention to their presence or absence. For example, when you feel anger rising because a colleague has made an offensive remark, instead of reacting immediately, pause and observe your emotions. Recognize that this is anger and separate it from the object that triggered the anger, your colleague. When you focus on observing the anger, you will realize it is just a fleeting emotion coming and going. You will no longer be caught in the spiral of anger and can then respond appropriately and wisely. Suppose anger arises and you are aware of anger as an emotion, then you become the subject of the anger. There are two distinct things, the object of anger and the anger itself. Most of us forget this. When anger appears, we focus on the object of the anger, not on the emotion emerging from our mind. This is crucial because mindfulness of the presence of anger, as opposed to the object of anger, makes the difference between being free or being swept away by the emotion. This is a very important method, because once we are mindful of our anger, we can handle it. We can see it rising, we can see it changing, we can understand its nature, and see how it affects us physically and mentally. We see the true nature of this emotion, when we are mindful of it. But if we don't pay attention to it and encounter triggers in life, people, situations, things, we let anger run rampant, and then it affects us. We lose peace of mind. There are many triggers in this chaotic world. A poor economic system makes us angry. People get angry with triggers. But in reality, the first priority is to be mindful of the emotion within your mind. Then you can deal with the rest later. The priority order of what to do when unpleasant emotions arise is very important. The absence of an emotion is also significant. Being mindful of this can show us the benefits of mindfulness. There is a moment when the anger subsides, and you taste the freedom. You understand what freedom is. Despite the chaotic world, we can still have freedom. Besides identifying and observing emotions, another equally important method in dealing with negative emotions is cultivating the right attitude. This is not only about how you react to unpleasant emotions, but also how you perceive and treat them. When faced with emotions like anger, anxiety, or fear, most of us tend to avoid, suppress, or ignore them. We do not want to face these unpleasant emotions for fear that they will hurt or affect our lives. However, this is not a healthy and sustainable solution. Instead of avoiding, try to open up and embrace those emotions. Recognize them as a natural part of being human, like passing winds in the soul. When we accept the existence of these emotions, we will no longer feel scared or threatened by them. Try to change your perspective on negative emotions. Instead of seeing them as enemies, see them as teachers who bring us valuable lessons. Every anger, every sadness contains messages about ourselves, about our desires, needs, and values. When we understand these messages, we can change and develop ourselves in a positive way. Cultivating the right attitude towards emotions is not an easy process. It requires patience, understanding, and compassion for oneself. But when we learn to accept and befriend our emotions, we will find true peace and happiness. So number 7, ask questions to become wiser. In the midst of the raging storm of anger within your heart, try to pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and listen to the whispers of your soul. 10 years from now, will this still have the power to upset me? Close your eyes. Envision the future, when the present events have faded into distant memories. Will they still carry enough weight to stir your mind? Will you even remember the details, the harsh words, the hurtful actions that triggered your anger today? Time is an impartial river, carrying away everything, including the joys and sorrows of human life. What causes us pain and anger today may become a faint memory tomorrow. So why should we let momentary anger control our souls, cloud our judgment, and destroy the precious moments of the present? Why waste our energy and time on things that will eventually become meaningless in the future? Broaden your perspective, look ahead, and you will see that life has so much more to offer. Instead of letting anger consume you, take a deep breath. Let each breath bring you back to the present. Calm down and view the situation objectively. Seek positive solutions to the problem, or if you can't, learn to let go and move on. Life is a fleeting journey. Don't let negative emotions cloud your soul. Free yourself from the shackles of anger. Let your spirit soar, so you can enjoy the beauty and meaning that life has to offer. Because happiness lies not in controlling everything, but in accepting and appreciating what we have. Number 8, identifying anger with mindfulness. When anger arises, instead of lashing out at others and causing unnecessary harm, seek healthy and positive ways to release your emotions. For instance, if you feel angry because your boss reprimanded you, instead of arguing back or displaying a negative attitude, Find a quiet place to take deep breaths and calm down. Afterward, you can write in a journal to release your emotions and record your thoughts about the situation. This will help you view the issue more objectively and find a suitable solution. Additionally, exercise is a great way to release negative energy and reduce stress. You can go for a run, practice yoga, or simply take a walk in the park. Music also has a soothing effect on the soul, so choose your favorite tunes and let the melodies carry you away from anger. If necessary, share your feelings with a trusted friend. They can listen, offer advice, and help you see the issue from a different perspective. However, if the anger is overwhelming and you find it difficult to control, don't hesitate to seek support from loved ones, friends, or a mental health professional. They can provide you with coping skills and help you find solutions to the problem. Most importantly, always focus on finding solutions instead of dwelling on the problem. Instead of blaming your boss or colleagues, think about what you can do to improve the situation. Perhaps you need to have an open conversation with your boss to better understand their expectations, or you need to improve your work skills to avoid future mistakes. By focusing on solutions, you not only resolve your anger but also learn how to deal with work challenges more effectively. Number 9. Managing anger with positive actions. In Stoic philosophy, developing inner strength to manage anger is a continuous and persistent process of self-discipline. Instead of letting emotions dictate our actions, we learn to master them, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. Only with a strong inner foundation can we remain unshaken by external influences. We understand our own worth and respect the individuality of others. Life is essentially a symphony with diverse instruments, a painting with a multitude of colors. Each person, with their unique reactions and expressions of emotions, contributes to the creation of unique strokes on the canvas of life. Anger is also a part of that symphony, a color in that painting. However, if we let anger overwhelm us, it becomes a discordant note, disrupting the harmony of the music, or a smudged color, ruining the beauty of the painting. For example, when insulted by a colleague, instead of retaliating with harsh words, take a deep breath, remain calm, and ask yourself, does this statement truly affect my worth? Should I let anger cloud my judgment and ruin this relationship? By viewing the situation objectively, we can respond appropriately and avoid hurting others as well as ourselves. Another example, when facing difficulties at work, instead of feeling discouraged and giving up, recall the teachings of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you think about it that matters. We can choose to perceive difficulties as a challenge to cultivate resilience and problem-solving skills. Through perseverance and effort, we can overcome adversity and become stronger. Or when we feel angry about an injustice, instead of venting our anger on others, we can find healthy ways to release our emotions, such as journaling, exercising, or meditating. At the same time, let's explore the root cause of the injustice, considering if there are positive and effective ways to address the issue. To cultivate Stoic resilience, we need to change our perspective on silence. Instead of viewing it as a meaningless void, see silence as fertile ground, where the potential for growth and understanding is nurtured. By cherishing moments of quietude, we open ourselves to the lessons that adversity brings, learning to respond with clarity and purpose rather than acting impulsively. For example, when faced with failure at work, instead of dwelling on disappointment and blaming circumstances, we can take time for quiet reflection. In that tranquil space, we can objectively reassess the situation, analyze mistakes, and find solutions. We learn to accept what has happened, draw lessons, and move forward with a stronger mindset. This practice, like the reflective exercises of Stoics, helps us cultivate the ability to remain calm in the storms of life. We are no longer swept away by negative emotions, but find strength from within to face any challenge. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When we see difficulties as opportunities for growth and development, we will no longer fear or avoid them, but will face them with all our courage and wisdom. Moreover, cultivating inner strength also helps us build a firm stance against criticism, judgment, or opposing opinions. Instead of reacting harshly, we can listen, absorb, and filter out useful information to improve ourselves. Our silence and calmness will make others reconsider their words and actions, while demonstrating our respect and confidence. Furthermore, silence helps us connect more deeply with ourselves and the world around us. In moments of stillness, we can listen to our hearts, discover our deepest values and beliefs. We can also appreciate the beauty of nature, the wonders of life, and the love of those around us. In conclusion, cultivating inner strength not only helps us control anger, but also brings many other benefits to life. Let's take time for stillness, reflection, and practice. Stoic exercises to discover and develop the hidden strength within ourselves. Number 10. Cultivating inner strength to control anger. In the journey of cultivating calmness and self-mastery, identifying and distancing oneself from triggers is a crucial step. Just as a gardener needs to remove weeds to protect precious flowers, we also need to eliminate negative elements around us to maintain inner peace. If you find yourself frequently getting angry when encountering a certain colleague or friend, take the initiative to limit contact with them. This doesn't mean severing the relationship entirely, but rather temporarily creating distance to allow your mind to rest and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Similarly, if political debates on social media easily provoke your anger, temporarily disable notifications or unfollow pages and groups related to that topic. Instead, dedicate your time to more positive activities like reading, listening to music, exercising, or spending time with family and friends. Furthermore, setting boundaries is essential. Don't let others overstep or take advantage of your kindness. Learn to say no when necessary and protect your rights. For example, if you feel overwhelmed with work, don't hesitate to decline additional requests from colleagues or your boss. If a friend consistently behaves in ways that bother you, be honest with them and ask them to change. Finally, don't forget to seek humor in life. Laughter is medicine for the soul, helping to dispel stress and see things in a lighter way. When faced with unpleasant situations, try to find the humorous aspects of it. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of getting irritated and frustrated, turn on a funny song and relax. If you encounter a minor mishap, laugh at yourself and consider it a memorable experience. By identifying and distancing yourself from triggers, setting boundaries, and finding humor, you will gradually develop the ability to control your emotions and build a resilient spirit in the face of life's challenges. Number 11. Don't forget to smile. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, where worries and pressures seem to occupy our minds, we often unintentionally overlook an incredibly simple, yet immensely powerful act: smiling. This seemingly small, gentle gesture holds the extraordinary ability to soothe the soul, spread joy, and connect people. A smile is not merely an expression of emotion, it's an action imbued with profound significance. When we smile, our brains automatically release endorphins, The happiness hormones that improve our mood, reduce stress, and bring about a sense of relaxation and well-being. A smile can be a warm greeting upon meeting, a sincere encouragement for others, or simply a sign of our openness and willingness to communicate. The power of a smile goes beyond bringing joy to ourselves. It also radiates to those around us. A genuine smile transcends language and cultural barriers, creating connections between strangers. It can soothe conflicts, heal emotional wounds, and warm lonely hearts. A smile is like an invisible thread, connecting people and creating a world filled with love and sharing. Therefore, never underestimate the power of a smile. Let your smile always bloom on your lips, not only to beautify yourself, but also to spread joy and happiness to those around you. Remember, a smile can change someone's entire day, even their whole life. A mother's smile can soothe the pain of her child. A teacher's smile can encourage students to overcome difficulties, and a stranger's smile can bring hope to lost souls. So, always smile. Let your smile be a message of love, a wish for peace, and a priceless gift you give to the world. Number 12. Lastly, learning to forgive. Forgiveness, a noble and humane act, is not only a gift we give to others, but also a precious medicine for our own souls. When we know how to forgive, we free ourselves from the shackles of hatred and resentment, allowing our souls to be lighter and more serene. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or accepting the hurt caused by others, but rather accepting the truth that everyone can make mistakes. Forgiveness is allowing ourselves to let go of negative emotions, not letting them haunt and control our lives. When we forgive, we open our hearts to receive better things. We are no longer obsessed with the past, but focus on the present and the future. We can build healthy relationships, full of love and sharing. Forgiveness is also a way for us to learn and grow. When we see the mistakes of others with compassion, we will understand more about the motives and circumstances that led to those actions. From there, we can draw valuable lessons for ourselves, avoid repeating similar mistakes, and become better individuals. Remember, forgiveness is not an act of weakness, but a manifestation of strength and wisdom. When we know how to forgive, we have conquered ourselves, overcome negative emotions, and found peace within our souls. I sincerely hope that the insights and stories we shared in this video have illuminated the complex landscape of anger, providing you with valuable tools to navigate its stormy seas. Remember, anger isn't an adversary to be feared, but rather a natural part of our human experience. The key lies in recognizing its presence, understanding its roots, and skillfully transforming its raw energy into something positive and constructive. If this video has resonated with you, if it has sparked a flicker of hope, or ignited a desire for change, please consider hitting that like button and sharing it with your friends and loved ones. Let's create a ripple effect of understanding and compassion, helping others find their own path to inner peace. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're on a journey together, exploring the profound wisdom of philosophy, the timeless lessons hidden within stories, and the transformative power of self-discovery. Each video is a stepping stone towards a more fulfilling, joyful, and meaningful life. So until next time, keep your hearts open, your minds curious, and your spirits bright. Let's continue to nurture our souls and build a world where peace and happiness flourish. See you in the next video, where we'll delve deeper into the art of living a life of purpose and tranquility.